The evidence seems to indicate that you're watching Dolly Vision.
Footsteps down the hall, fingerprints of the dead, cold as stone. He's got the scoop, best around town known. Dolly Vision headlines, king of peace. Truth unravels, crackling through the heat. Lost soul shouting, echoes in the night. Rock the truth while live on air light. Tough enough, Dolly Vision's dreaming real. True crime scene blast feels so unreal. YouTube madness like share, subscribe. Jack's on fire, burning the world fire. Where's the baby missing shadows crawl? People whisper footsteps down the hall. Fingerprints of the dead, cold as stone. He's got the scoop, best around town known. Dolly Vision headlines, king of peace. Truth unravels, crackling through the heat. Lost soul shouting, echoes in the night. Rock the truth while live on air light.
What up, YouTube? Dolly back once again. Now we're talking the latest news and rumor on Jack and Lily Sullivan. But first, I'm going to need you guys to leave your DNA all over that like button. By now, you already know the routine. Just in case you go missing and Dolly got to come track your ass down, okay? I need some DNA so I can use my big ass bloodhound nose to sniff you out. Also, if you're watching for the very first time, sub up, ring the bell for notifications. We're not super far away from hitting 65,000 subscribers. And I can't do it without the help of each and every one of you guys out there watching. So please take a second, sub up the channel, ring the bell. A lot of rumors going around in this case, the Jack and Lily Sullivan case. If you're not familiar with it, two kids go missing like 11 days ago in Pictou County, Nova Scotia. Okay. Strange circumstances. A lot of people believe there may be some foul play, and the parents may be involved in the disappearance of these two small children, Jack and Lily. Jack, 4 years old, Lily, 6 years old. But let me give my warnings before we get too far into this. Dolly Visions for entertainment purposes only. We talk news, rumors, gossip, speculation, theories, mixed with some comedy and a whole lot of chaos. So don't take nothing here as fact. It's just my opinion, people. Completely satire, right? We're not taking calls because we're on the road for the next few days. So thank you for joining me on the road. Right now, we are in Boston. Okay, so we've had a crazy day so far for you guys that have been following us this morning. I'll get into a little tiny bit of that in just a minute. But remember, everybody is innocent to proven guilty in a court of law, even the parents of Jack and Lily, and even that lady Karen Reed. And the biggest one of them all, don't try to be Dolly at home. It is dangerous. Okay. You could wake up one day a DoorDash driver. You're thinking, Dolly, I'm already a DoorDash driver. Well, you shouldn't have tried to be me at home. Okay. You shouldn't have done it. You would have had a better career. You would have had a better job if you hadn't tried to be Dolly. Okay. So before everybody asks, I want to start off with a little bit of our morning. Me and PJ, this is a little off topic from Jack and Lily, but it's quick, so it's only gonna take a minute for me to tell you. So we're in Boston covering the Karen Reed trial. If you're not familiar with that, she's a woman that allegedly backed over her police officer boyfriend, John O'Keefe. So, we get up this morning, we drive up to the courthouse, we're out there to support John O'Keefe's family. And apparently, the Karen Reed people, supporters, were not too happy with Dolly's face this morning. Okay. So I just walked around, was nice and polite to everybody. Well, they ran and got the police. Okay. They ran. These are the people that scream freedom of speech, right to protest, you're violating our rights. But as soon as Dolly gets there, they run and they get the police and tell the police that I'm out there causing trouble. The police comes up to the vehicle that I'm in. They're really nice, really understanding about what's going on. And they said, look, we know these people are bothering you. That's what they said to me. It's on video that they're all up in your face screaming and things like that. We just want to let you know that there is a buffer zone and we just don't want nobody yelling at Karen Reed when they get here. And I told them, I said, look, I'm not worried about any of these people. I don't get razzled dazzled that easy, right? So these people don't phase me that support Karen Reed. That's like, it don't bother me none. Plus, we're getting ready to get out of here. We didn't plan on staying long this morning, and court got canceled. But I just wanted to touch in on bases like this. For people that scream about their rights and freedom of speech, while they try to take that away from other people, what a joke. Okay. What a joke. Now let's get on topic. I just want to touch on that because I know a lot of you guys were watching this morning and people are replaying my stream. And, Karen Reed supporters, they're big mad at Dolly Vision right now because I showed up to support the victims of a horrible crime. Oh, God. How terrible, right? How terrible. So, anyway, these children are still missing. We're going on day 11. And the parents have went silent. Now, family members have been posting in groups what are believed to be family members. Now, this may be some rumor to this. So I want to let you guys know what is rumor, what is truth, what is fact, all those things. That the family members are saying that malehya is a victim of domestic violence. Okay, this woman is being beat on, and she is scared of Daniel. Now, listen, people in the room have said that this lady's real calm and no emotion, and she may be scared of this man, and blah 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 is how I hear it. Right? It's like the Charlie Brown teacher. Won't 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 won't. Listen, this lady is away from this man. There's police all around investigating the case, all kinds of agencies. If she knew what this man done, she should be telling it right now, and we should already have our arrest. Love your glasses. I want a pair. Okay. All you gotta do is get bad eyesight, and they'll give you a pair of glasses. Okay. So I don't believe the situation. Now I do believe there could be domestic violence in the home. They don't look like a happy home. Okay, let's be honest. We've seen the house. Does the house look very happy? It don't look like a happy home. It looks a little bad on the outside. Anyway, I really don't know what the inside conditions are of the house, but on the outside of the house, it looked unsafe for children. And now we do know the social services are involved, and some people are saying services told her to take the baby and get out of there. But we do know that Daniel cannot see the child. So maybe she is saying things that she was abused by this man and she's scared of this man, but all of a sudden, but let me tell you this. I don't care how scared I am of somebody. I am not letting you hurt my child. Okay? I am not letting you do it. I'm not letting you get away with it. And to go, what some people are saying, your stream went private and cut off for me, Tiff. Cable, thank you so much. It is on members. Okay, people are streaming my streams, and I don't like that. So when they think they're going to get away with doing it, sometimes I'll privatize the video just to make them wait. Okay, just to make them wait because some people are trying to play my video and shit talk me. We don't let you do that here. We're like, okay, private the video. You good luck playing it. You should have screen recorded it. Okay, but all it is was a bunch of people triggered that Dolly showed up at a courthouse. So if you missed it today, once everybody don't want to play it, I'll open it back up to the general public and you guys can see it. But it's basically me showing up at a courthouse, me walking by the court with these people calling me a troll, and me being really nice and polite to everybody. And they tell the police that I'm there to cause trouble. So the police come up to me and say, "Hey, look, we know these people are bothering you. But look, these are our rules here, so don't get into no altercations with them because we've seen them screaming at you." So the police were pretty much on my side. Okay, they were talking to me about where to go to have drinks and what bars to hit when I go to um, Cape Cod, and they were super nice. Okay, they recommended the Dirty Banana drink. You can't make it up. You can't make it up, right? So they wasn't so much worried about me as they was these people getting into an altercation with me. Right. So they didn't want me to snap off on one of these people saying things to me. And I told them, I said, nah, you don't have to worry about that. We're getting ready to roll out anyway. Because we want to razzle dazzle some other people because we knew showing up would make people angry. Right. Easy work, right? Hashtag easy work, hashtag razzle dazzle. All I did was drove by and said razzle dazzle, right? And if you don't know what the razzle dazzle stuff is about, there's a woman that's charged with murder. Okay. Her name is Teller Business. And she attacked her lawyer. And when she attacked her lawyer, she screamed something out. Now, we've never been able to make out exactly what she screamed, but it sounded like she screamed razzle dazzle. Okay, or WrestleMania. We don't quite know which one she actually screamed. Um, okay, well, we don't know which one she actually screamed. So the whole razzle dazzle thing is a joke from the Tellers of Business murder case, right? And these people, they get really angry really fast, right?
We don't care who's streaming you guys. It's okay.
Yeah, we don't care who streams us.
He's got nothing else.
If you have no content, I would stream Dolly too. Especially when you ain't entertaining and you're boring as shit. Okay. I would stream me too. When you Turtle Boy's lapdog, right?
He's so mad you were talking. We were never even going to go to the Turtle Boy thing. He got so mad. It's like he was defending his girlfriend. Like, you will never get anywhere near Turtle Boy.
When you Turtle Boy's bitch and you already razzle dazzled without me saying anything to you, gotcha, baby.
He tried to get to me. Like, he thinks he's going to get to you by getting to me.
He knows. He knows he's no match for Dolly Vision. He knows.
He had trans and shit.
So he can cry baby all he wants, but all he is a little turtle boy bitch.
All I ever see him have is a pretend girlfriend online. Where's
man.
Cherry at?
Cherry's a man. Cherry's a man. He been dating a man for 2 years. We don't even care about that shit anyway. My whole goal was, to ruffle some feathers, right? Let them get all mad and show the hypocrisy of what they're doing. Like, these are the same people screaming our rights and freedom of speech and all this stuff, but they're willing to take mine away, willing to run to the police and tattle. The same corrupt police, right? I thought the police were corrupt. I thought they were corrupt, but y'all damn sure ran to the police when Dolly was there. He's out here. He's causing trouble. Good thing they didn't beat me up and throw me in front of the courthouse dead, okay, laying there and let the dog attack me. Good thing they wasn't corrupt, or I'd be dead right now, okay? Y'all silly ass people. So anyway, back to business. Children gone. The police do not believe that the children are in the woods. They scaled
the domestic violence thing yet? I don't mean to interrupt you.
Yes, I was talking about people believe it's domestic violence, but like I said, even if you was beating my ass, I would not let you hurt my children.
It's easier said than done, but I meant to tell you before you went live. There's actual history of the dad, her bio dad, Henry.
Yeah, fighting with her mom.
Yeah, so
I knew about that.
It could be generational.
Generational, okay. Well, I mean, that's hard to say. It ain't like you pass it down like genetics, domestic violence. But she's saying it's domestic violence. Daniel is the one creating domestic violence, but yet her family is the one that has a bunch of domestic violence arrested him, right? And she's the one that is so cold, and her statements are kind of like Chris Watts, even though Daniel acts like Chris Watts. Okay, he has that same kind of, I'm doing so much to find these kids when he's just a stepfather, but yet he didn't do all that to watch the children, okay? Because it was 10 o'clock in the morning. Nobody got up, checked on the kids. Nobody checked to send them to school. Nobody got up to fix them breakfast. To me, it's complete child neglect, okay? I am a father, and I raised my child every morning. I was up at 6 o'clock. By 7:15, she was on the bus, dressed, teeth brushed, hair brushed, standing at the bus stop 7:15 every morning, like routine, never broke it, right? And to see these parents not even checking on their kids, not even looking at their kids, I can understand there may be some domestic violence in the house. The dude don't look like the nicest guy, but even though people have said really good things about Daniel, and right now, a lot of this is just speculation, just rumors. We don't know, right? We only know the little bit of small things that are coming out. But the facts are this: the police don't believe the children in the woods. The police have said the chances of them children being alive is very slim, that they scale back the investigation, and they're moving towards more of a criminal investigation and going back and searching some of the places that they've already searched. Okay. So to me, it points to the four people that were at the property that day. Apparently, they believe know something. And that's Daniel, Malehya, Daniel's mother, and Daniel's brother. So a lot of the people have been just, saying that they're drug addicts and they're drunks and all these things. But then there's people that come out and post things that they're good people and they would never do this. And I've known Daniel since high school and he's always been a nice guy. He's never been in trouble. But he was arrested in 2011 for possession, which was dismissed. Okay, it could have been somebody else's stuff. And when he went to court and he was able to prove that it wasn't his, and they dismissed the case. So he don't have any drug convictions for a bunch of people to be out here calling him a drug addict. Now listen, I don't blame parents for doing things to their kids. I just tell you guys what I suspect. Okay, when things don't add up, when there's inconsistent statements, when you're talking about your child in the past tense, when your child is missing, it's a little strange. In his story, it kind of changed in the beginning. Now the kids came into the room 4 times that night while Malehya was sleeping. And he also said that soon as he didn't hear him outside, he jumped in the car and went looking for him. Okay. But what did Malehya do while he was doing these things? She didn't have no phone service, right? Because where they're at in Nova Scotia, in Pictou County, the reception was real bad on her phone. Tipping all these kids just vanished. God bless y'all. Well, it's all about bringing awareness to these cases and making sure people know what's going on in the case so they continue to look into the case, continue to spread awareness on the case. These kids don't magically vanish. Something had to happen to make aliens don't abduct kids, right? Usually, when somebody goes missing, is behind the hands of somebody that they know. You're more likely to be killed by a loved one and a friend than you are a stranger, statistically. Okay. So, first people we have to rule out in a case like this, of course, is the parents. Okay. And right now, the parents, once again, in another missing kid case, have kind of stopped talking. But we do know they're fighting with each other and their families are fighting with each other. because apparently Malehya's mother believes that these people at that trailer are responsible for the disappearance of those kids. But here's my thing. A lot of people don't believe those kids ever went, they didn't go to school that week. Well, early that week, that Monday they did, and that they may have went missing before the day they were reported missing. Okay, now a lot of people out there think, well, the parents they're innocent. They could be. They could absolutely be innocent. And that's why it's important to continue to share these kids' pictures and to tell the story. Because if these people are innocent, that means these kids have been abducted because they're definitely not in the woods. The police haven't ruled out abduction, but they don't think there's been an abduction because they never issued an Amber Alert. Okay. There's no need to, if they don't think you've been kidnapped, they're not going to put out an Amber Alert. Now, they did put out alerts on the children, just not an Amber Alert. There's certain things you have to qualify for it to be an Amber Alert, right? Which I think is insane. I think needs to be changed. Like, if you're under the age of 10 and you go missing, are you automatically in extreme danger, right? If you're a little older, maybe not. Sebastian Rogers, that went missing out of Hendersonville, Tennessee, 15-year-old boy, autism, no signs of abduction, and they issued an Amber Alert, right?
There was rumors in the chat on the group that CPS took the baby, and a family friend of Malehya said that it's not true under the
Yes,
rumors.
from my understanding, the baby is still with Malehya. Now, she is apparently cooperating with the police, and they're saying the police has told her not to speak. But if that's the case, why wouldn't the police tell Daniel not to speak? They're not telling him that. Now, he has shut up, right? And I think that's because people were picking apart things that he was saying in this case that wasn't adding up, like him speaking in past tense. Just things like where he was tripping up on his own words. Like, as soon as I heard them not outside, I jumped in my car and I went look for him. Well, I thought you was asleep, right? I thought you didn't know they were outside. So which one is it? Did you know they were outside and you were supposed to be watching them and you wasn't watching them and somebody's abducted them and that's why the mother's mad at you? They're not fighting for nothing, right? They done broke up over this. The Malehya and Daniel have broke up. And here's, like I said the other day, the crazy thing is she jumps online and she changes her relationship status on Facebook. But she don't post nothing about her missing kids. She don't post, please bring my babies home. If you kidnap my babies, please release them, drop them off. Nothing. She posts that she's single and she's ready to mingle. Okay? Like, were them kids too much for her to handle? Two children on the spectrum, and maybe she has something to do with this, because even if her family's crying she's a victim of domestic violence, well, she's not now. Okay, he's not beating on her now. Why ain't she at the authorities telling what she knows?
And the chat is saying that the kids were actually seen at 8 o'clock for the dispatch audio that we heard, which
Yes.
I think we want to go by the discrepancies. The grandmother also said that the kids were last seen the night before.
Which grandmother, though? Malehya's grandmother or Daniel's mother? Because that would be the grandmother too, if you're thinking on the stepdaddy side.
I just recall reading an article.
So the grandmother would definitely biological would be Malehya's mother. And she is the one that was up there raising hell mad and believes that Daniel has something to do with the disappearance of her grandkids. Now,
the one that lived there, Joan said.
The one that lived there said that the kids were last seen that night
before.
Well, here's the thing about that is if those kids were outside playing and she's in the trailer that sits adjacent to the house, right directly behind it, the fence runs up to her trailer. Why didn't she hear the kids? Why didn't she see the kids? Right? I can understand that Daniel slept in, Michaela slept, Malehya, I keep wanting to call her Michaela. Malehya slept in. Apparently now that his mother slept in, his brother slept in, and they didn't seem very concerned and they wasn't giving interviews. And when we did see the brother, he was laid back like this on the four-wheeler, like he didn't have a care in the world. Like it's another day, like no concern, no urgency to find these kids. And I just don't buy his superhero story. Um, I honestly think, and I've said this, and some people, may give me hell about this. They need to interrogate all four of those people until one of them break and one of them talk. Because if the police don't believe there's abduction, they know the kids are not in the woods. All it leaves is the parents and the people that are on that property. And it seems like they brought in Daniel for 4 hours, like what, 3 days ago, 4 days ago?
Mm-hmm.
Before they searched the lakes and then they searched underneath his trailer, they brought him in for 4 hours. But what about malehya? Why ain't they bringing her in and him in at the same time, separating them, pointing the finger, saying, well, she pointed the finger at you, he pointed the finger at you, he's saying you did it, she's saying you did it, and, try to break them and get one of them to talk, or even the brother, right? Because you're going to have to go for the weakest link to try to get this solved. And my prediction's been this, that by Friday, there will be an arrest in this case. Because why would they call off the searches? Why would they tell searchers they're not needed? Because they know these kids ain't with us anymore. And they figure once these people are charged and they have enough on these people, that they will give up where the children are. Usually that's how it's happened. Once you're charged or they got you and they know you did it, usually they'll give you a lighter sentence if you tell what you did with trigger warning guys, the bodies or the kids, right? Or a adult person if that be the case. So kids don't vanish. These kids right now don't have a voice because the parents are kind of hiding out. And I know like the mother's deleting social media, but I can understand deleting social media. But what I can't understand for the life of me is why she would get up there and change her relationship status, but not ask for no help in the safe return of her kid. Now, a lot of people are saying the house looks like a meth lab, a crack house, just every bad thing you can humanly say. We know they wasn't working. I've heard rumors of the kids being sold. People are saying that they kept the kids in cages and like that's ridiculous. Okay. That whole thing right there where they're saying the kids were zip tied and put in a cage. That is people up here trying to get clicks and views. I would not believe any of that. I don't think that to be the case. Okay. These kids were going to school. If they were being kept with zip ties on in a cage, I think the bus drivers and the teachers, they would have been aware of something like that. I don't know if you've ever been zip tied, but they're going to leave marks all over your wrist. Same thing like handcuffs, right? They're going to leave marks all over your wrist. I don't believe these kids have been tortured and zip tied and kept in a damn kennel. That just seems so insane to me. But whatever people want to say on their YouTube channels to get clicks and views is more power to them. All right. Sending love to PJ and Dolly. Please stay safe. We're always safe. Okay, guys. We're about to go out here in just a little bit, and since they canceled court today, and we're going to enjoy our day, make the best day that we can. It's a beautiful day here in Massachusetts. We're what, downtown Boston. So we may go, but we ain't gonna tell everybody where we're going because there's some weird people here too that are kind of anti-Dolly. All these free Karen Reed weirdos.
Somebody posted on Twitter, Karen Reed's on the mend after Alexis SUV in reverse ran over her foot. Oh.
Yeah, well, yeah, they canceled court today because we were here live for we're in Boston because of the Karen Reed trial.
Karen is sick. Why couldn't she just appear on Zoom? Like, that doesn't even make sense.
And Karen Reed apparently is sick. She has a brain tumor while she's battling colon cancer and MS and Crohn's disease.
When does a defendant get to just call
she has a whole lot of stuff going on with her, so she couldn't make it to court today because she had to do. Okay, so she's blowing up the toilet right now, and she just couldn't make it, right? So she heard they wasn't giving out free Kool-Aid today at the court, and there was only 10 people out there waiting for her, and she's like, well, I'm not Bon Jovi today. There's only 15 bingo players out here waiting for me. And she didn't show up to court. There wasn't enough people there to support her. So she was like, I ain't going. All right. So, but we do need some justice for these kids, and hopefully it'll come this week, right? The police haven't given any more updates since the one where they said they were scaling back and the major crime unit was involved. And they were hinting to it because the major crime dude, he didn't want to answer any questions, right? He was just saying, well, we've been involved, we've been investigating since Saturday, which the kids allegedly went missing Friday. So major crimes has been there since Saturday working the case. And something made them go dig up under the trailer in the porch.
Still sick tomorrow.
What if she is still sick tomorrow? Well, I don't know. Every time I'm sick and don't go to court, they hit me with a failure to appear and put me in jail. Okay. But I don't miss court, but that's what they would do. Okay. They would hit me with a failure to appear and put me in jail. But she has special privilege, right? It's called money. It comes with a lot of special privileges, right? So, go figure. She has $1 million lawyer, and he's a little mad troll, a little angry elf. He's like T-Rev, but in lawyer form. Okay, if T-Rev had a good career, he'd be Alan Jackson. All right, that's just the truth. So, if nothing comes this week, sometimes it takes a little time, right? My prediction was a little quick, but I still think everything will happen the way I think. They got to pressure these people. If this was in my state, Virginia, where I live, these people would already be in jail. I swear to you they would. No doubt in my mind. But it being Canada, I knew that. I said, well, let me give it an extra week. Okay. Because, maybe Canada's a little bit slower than the states are. But where I'm at, right, which is a Commonwealth state, just like here in Massachusetts is a Commonwealth, your ass goes to jail. Okay. This Commonwealth here, up here in Mass, seems to be a little more lenient than the Commonwealth of Virginia. Okay. You don't play in Virginia. You want to go to jail, come to Virginia. Your ass will get locked up. Okay. They lock you up for next to nothing. You ain't even gotta do shit. You can go to jail in Virginia. But like I said, I dealt with the police here in Mass today, and they were super polite, super nice, friendly, right? And these are the same police that everybody's saying is corrupt and dirty and things like that. Well, I'm like, man, they're awful nice to be such corrupt police. So let's hope that the Canadian Mounted Police in the Jack and Lily case, they do a good job, that they're, dotting their I's and crossing their T's, and it's just a matter of time before arrest is coming. That's what I'm hoping anyway. Okay, that they got this under control, and I mean, if not, then does this end up like another mystery case of Summer Wells or Sebastian Rogers? So I don't want to see that happen, right? Where just nobody ever goes to jail and the kids never turn up, right? Because, we've been following the Sebastian Rogers case here in Hendersonville, Tennessee. Young man, 15 years old at the time he goes missing. He is 16 now. He's been missing, what, 14 months, 15 months, almost a year and a half. Not one single sighting of him. No clues, no new updates from the police. And, right at about the 3-year mark is when it gets cold. And the police in Hendersonville said that tips were pouring in, but now they're kind of trickling in, and they don't really have much. There's been a lot of rumors and speculation, of course, on the internet, just like always in any missing kids case. But we're just praying that some of these kids get some answers, and so we can continue to spread this awareness, hoping that it may help. It can't hurt, right? We can use our channels for good or bad, and here we tend to use our channel for justice, right? We want to see justice. We want to see that gavel come down on you and these people that are doing these horrible things, hurting people, killing people, destroying families. They spend some time behind bars where they belong. You know me, I'm pro death penalty. I believe in an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. You do something horrible, you deserve to have something horrible happen to you. Now I know everybody don't agree with that. They have their views that, we shouldn't take lives, we shouldn't play God. But tell that to the victim, right? Tell that to the family that's crying and grieving that lost a loved one. It's easy to say those things when you've never been affected by crime. But once you have, you're more likely to lean towards what I'm saying, that we need to be tough on crime so people don't commit these crimes. Make an example of people so other people don't follow in their footsteps or they think twice before they do something horrific. And there's nothing more horrific than hurting these kids. Nothing. Karen Reed's bad. Yeah, it's bad. They were out drinking and driving. John made some mistakes. He shouldn't have gotten in a car. But he was drinking too, so they were both making mistakes that night. That's a lot different than somebody that purposely hurts or murders a child, especially their own child, because it's your job as a parent to protect your kids. Now, some people like that Baby Gap dude, he beats on his kid. He thinks it's okay.
He's 6'2", he said.
Yeah, his son is 6'2" and has special needs, so he figures it's okay to punch his son in the face, right? It's never okay to do that stuff, right? It's never okay to hurt a kid. It's people like that then they act like they care about police corruption. Well, you need to care about whipping your kid, right? And he has special needs because he's big, so he deserves to be beat like a man. It's people like that that turn that shouldn't be following true crime. And basically, he tried to do true crime as far as missing kids, and he was one of the biggest exploiters out there of missing kids. And now, anytime somebody talks about a missing kid, he's like, because he's jumped on Turtle Boy and the Karen Reed movement, he believes if you talk about missing kids, you're exploiting them. But he did the exact same thing. He just was no good at it, and his channel was tanking and crumbling. So he grabbed onto a life raft, and now he's Mr. Boston. Okay, so it's bad enough like this, and you got people out here, you know, faking things. If you such against police brutality, why don't you fight against police brutality in your own hometown? Right. And then, the last time you dealt with the police, he barricaded himself. This is the Baby Gap guy. Barricaded himself in the house. The police had to tear half the house down to get him out. Okay. The dude is a slap ass drunk. It's house sitting somebody else. Can you imagine letting somebody stay at your house? You come home and the SWAT team's there and then snatch the windows out your house? Then had to flash bang to get you out because you violent, beating on women, beating on your kids, and you the one drunk taking up for a drunk woman. I think Karen Reed needs better poster child than Turtle Boy and Baby Gap. Can Rita run the show? Can Rita run that? Because you dudes are fucking idiots. So I can't stand that. I cannot stand people like that. Wow. Wow. Oh, Dolly, I'm in Cincinnati. We just had a man run over a cop. Huh, that's horrible. Listen, that's the same situation here in Canton, Denham. I'm the Boston area. It's basically all Boston to me. It's just the outskirts of Boston, the small towns of Boston. Not so much the city, but a lot of these places are really beautiful. This would be a really nice place to live if there wasn't so many police officers drinking. Right?
Katie said, how do they expect for missing children to be found if no one can talk about them because that's exploiting?
Yeah, well, I get, we need to talk about these kids. These are people that are just hateful and they're jealous of other people's success on YouTube because they were failing, right? They were trying to do the same thing, but was no good at it. What was the kid where he was attacking the parents like crazy, and he acts like he don't attack parents? Sophie.
Sophie Long, he was on the father's side. The father ended up being the bad guy and is actually locked up right now.
Uh-huh.
And then when you confront him about that, he said, "Oh, but I wasn't monetized when that happened." But his number one hashtag that comes up when you look it up is Sophie Long.
Yeah, so nobody forgets about the crazy attacks that this weirdo was doing. While he basically beat his kid, was sending penis pics to people, weird to dudes, right? Like, I don't know. I don't think that Karen Reed, she she checks to see who her supporters are and what their background is, right? Because some of these people are absolutely disgusting, right? Their behavior, like their attacks on women.
Birds of a feather.
Maybe that she's a terrible person and she wants to surround herself with terrible people.
Yeah.
I don't know, but y'all seen this same guy come up here and try to debate Karen Reed, sloppy drunk. Okay.
He still thinks he won that debate.
I mean,
it's the most weirdest thing
I
ever.
mean, he himself can't drive around. He ain't got no damn driver's license. So, and because he's a drunk, I hope this man, he gets him a little bit of help on the internet. Like, go to rehab, bro. Like, you every night you're drinking. It's not good for you. It's not like, get some help with that, right? I wish the dude nothing but the best, right? I mean, I wouldn't F with you because you're a piece of shit. You're pretty much, we beat it. It goes to me like the same reason I don't like Chris Proudfoot. Don't put your hands on kids, man. The only difference is this is his kid, and he thinks it's acceptable to man up to a child because he's big and punch his kid in the face and openly say it, right? Openly say those things like, wow, as you're a drunk supporting a woman that was drunk and ran over a cop. Make that shit make sense. And then want to call me names and say shit about me? Bro, you need to look in the mirror, right?
He hardly said anything about you. He's more dragging me.
Yeah, because he thinks that'll get to me, right? Because he knows in a verbal warfare, he's a fucking idiot and he can't touch this, right? I've done destroyed him on more talks than you can. Like, he embarrasses himself. Have you seen Dolly up here sloppy drunk? Right? Ever? But this dude up here is crying, whining. He thinks people forgot the morbid stuff. Okay, y'all remember more? Anybody? Well, you probably don't.
There's stuff before that and before that.
Yeah, but this has been going way back for a good while, and I don't want to even give him attention because he's basically a drunk man who beats on his kid, or thinks it's acceptable to do that, or thinks it's acceptable to drive around drunk, and he defends cop killers and baby murderers and just all kinds of shit, right? So he's basically just an idiot. And you know how I joke around about being an idiot? That's me joking. This dude is actually an idiot. And like I said, he was trying to do kids cases and true crime, but wouldn't even post one picture in his hometown, not put up one flyer, never went and searched, never got up his desk. He's basically a grifter that is grifting off of Karen Reed. Okay. If he didn't talk about Karen Reed, he would have no fucking views. None whatsoever. Nobody would watch him. His channel tanked and he reached up for a life raft and he grabbed a hold of Turtle Boy's nuts. True story. And Turtle Boy let him sit on his lap and burped him like a little baby. Oh, look at little baby cat, right? And he's been riding that for the last, year and a half? Mm-hmm. So to me, you're a failure. Karen Reed is almost done. And where do you go from there, right? Play this video. Let your viewers hear that, all right? Because once that Karen Reed shit's done, you're going to be back up there crying, I hate YouTube. I don't know why, man. Just fuck these people.
Right before he got on the turtle.
Boy, that's what he was doing. He was crying, talking about how he hated YouTube, but he was quitting YouTube, and that because nobody was watching him, and he had to go over to Morbid to get 150 people in the room. Okay, well, nobody's forgot that stuff, right, dude? You ain't fooling nobody, thinking you some big time YouTuber, Karen Reed simp. Nobody gives a shit. Right? Nobody cares. You a desk jockey is what I call you. You sit at your desk and shut up. Right? Try not to beat your kid, you alcoholic. So anyway, we got to bring some justice to these children. Continue to share their photos. We're staying on the radar, checking everything that comes in on Lily and Jack. Right? Beautiful kids. They deserve everybody to be supporting them right now and sharing their images. I couldn't imagine anything like this happening in my family or to anybody close to me. If something different comes out and it's a stranger, then it is what it is. But nothing changes on how I feel about this. Criminal child neglect. They should have been checking on those kids. They should have been up that morning being parents. They should have went in there and checked on the children. If them children were outside, they should have been outside with them and all these things. And that was not the case whatsoever. So to me, if you ain't checking on your kids, you're not feeding your kids, that is what the definition of criminal child neglect is. In my state, it's a felony. You face 5 to 15 years in prison. We got 447 likes, and we got over 1,000 people in the chat room. Look, guys, I need y'all to do me a favor real quick. Hit the like button for me, okay? And then once you do that, I want you to shout out where you're watching from in the chat room. So it's time to represent your city, your town, your hood, all that good stuff. But make sure you like the video. It helps it in the algorithm, and it helps spread awareness because there's still a lot of people out here that have not heard about the Jack and Lily story, especially in the United States and abroad. Now, I know a lot of people in Nova Scotia and Canada have heard about this case, but it's slowly starting to pick up traction.
Someone told you to check your messenger.
My messenger? Okay, give me 1 second. I don't want to get too off topic, but make sure you like the video and shout out where you're watching from. I wasn't signed into Facebook, so give me 1 second. Oh, listen, guys. When an idiot says things about you, nobody cares, right? He's a fucking idiot that beats on his kid. He's an alcoholic, right? If you want to talk about me, be a better person than me, okay? Don't be worse than me, like some fucking scumbag, and you talking about somebody that you're not even on my level, right? Like, come on now, let's be real. We're two different people, right? Two different totally types of human beings. Like this dude, like I said, I'm a good parent. This dude thinks it's okay to punch his fucking kid in the face that has special needs. Okay, he has a special needs child that he openly says he beats on. Why would I give a fuck what that guy says? Why would I care? He's an alcoholic drunk. Like, do you walk up to the bar and ask some drunk dude what they think? No, right? Like, why would I care? Like, you can't keep a woman, right? That's why you lonely and mad about me having a woman because you can't get one. The last one you had was an internet girlfriend, and you were sending pictures of your pecker to a man. That's probably why you don't have a girlfriend. Okay?
He likes men.
He definitely likes men. There ain't no doubt in my mind. He is so suspect that it's like
You like insinuated that we would go see Aiden at his court case, and he was like, no, he will not go there. Aiden,
don't worry, baby Gap. I'm not gonna steal your man. Okay, he's all yours. You can have him. He's gonna get tired of carrying you anyway. Okay, he's only gonna let you sit on his lap for so long. And the Karen Reed stuff, you got to remember this trial's going to wrap up in a couple weeks, and then where do you go from there? Back to talking about Betty, right? Back to sucking burnt toast's ass. Where do you go? Where do you go from here? All right. I know what direction I'm going in. I got a whole year planned. You got another week. Okay. You got another week. I'm looking at my watch. You got 1 week left of Karen Reed. That's it. So if they let her go, what do you got then? You better hope she goes to jail and fights for an appeal, because then you still got something to hold on to. So really, what is it? You probably really want her to get locked up. So are you really a Karen Reed supporter? You don't give a damn about the people of Boston. You ain't from there. You don't give a damn about the people from your town. Go back to walking and cleaning sweaty dudes fucking sweat up off gym equipment. All right. What a joke. Okay. What a joke. I don't even like bringing myself to that level to be like, dude, you're a fucking idiot. You're not worth my time. Dolly, thank you for advocating for children. It is what it is, guys, and it's no problem. Um, I'm gonna fight as long as I can and do what I can to help as much as I can. You know, I am just one person. Well, two people. Now I got PJ on my team, right? So we do what we can to help and bring awareness to the cases and the situations the best we can. Yeah, there, Jalen. Like, listen, there's a reason why that man's single. Okay. One, what woman would want to be with a man that beats on her kid? What woman would want to be with an alcoholic? Right? Like, none. None, right? I know why he's bitter and mad. I'd be bitter and mad too. But you gotta figure, man, you done that to yourself. Become a better person. Just because you're a shitbag today, don't mean you always have to be a shitbag. You know, you can change your ways. Thank you, Tater Bug. You don't have to be a terrible person your whole life, right? And you're fake. You don't give two shits about police corruption. You don't give two shits about the people of Canton or Boston. The only reason you care is because they're super chatting you and they believe you care that Karen Reed's guilty. What have you done in your own town? What have you done for police corruption anywhere else in this whole fucking country? Nothing. Okay? Nothing. You a girl, Turtle Boy's a girl. Y'all are just leeches off the system. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. And you'll crumble, and I'll be here to laugh at you. Okay? Just remember that. As soon as this is over, right back to where you were. Nothing. A bottom feeder. Scraping for every view you can get. Let me ride BHB's nuts. Okay? You'll go right back to the trash you were. Anyway, Melcrow says, Lunch with Dolly and PJ, thank you for supporting John O'Keefe and being a voice for the kids that need it the most. Yes, you don't see us up here supporting the cop killer, right? We're up here supporting the victims and their families. That's what it's about. These other people, they don't realize that. They're just pro Karen Reed. They're not pro John O'Keefe, right? If it pointed to them, they don't want to hear that shit. They don't want to hear it. That shows me right there that they have no morals, they have no values, and they're doing it for money. Simple as that, right? And these are sorry ass people, drunks and people that beat on their kids, but yet they're supposed to be the advocates for police brutality. You beat on people yourself, okay? But yet you want to be like, oh, the police are beating John to death. Well, I'm surprised your kid's still alive. You fucking drunk child abuser. Before you ever put my name in your mouth, you need to look in the mirror and realize who the fuck you are. And that is the truth. Okay. So with that said, I've been here with you guys an hour. It's beautiful out. We're going to go enjoy Boston, baby. Okay. PJ's over there making our plans.
I've got a lot of stuff on this list.
All right. And we may go live with you guys. So make sure if you haven't, add PJ Vision. Okay. Because a lot of behind the scenes stuff or us out in adventures and things like that are on her channel. Okay, I usually don't stream that stuff. I usually stick to true crime, or true crime related stuff on my channel. But PJ posts a little bit of everything when we out at the park and the beach and around town, that type of stuff. If you just want to see some regulars hang out and chill with us and, chop it up, make sure you add PJ Vision. Go to Martha's Vineyard. We are. Okay, but I can't tell you everywhere we're going. PJ will stab me in the neck because, listen, we got a lot of weird people that like to do weird things. You've seen today, people ran and tried to tell the police on us. Oh my God, he's here kind of cause trouble, right? Supporting John O'Keefe and his family is causing trouble. I thought that's what they were here for. Oh, that's right. They're here for Karen Reed. Different thing. Okay, different thing. Just subscribe to her channel. Thank you, Casey. Thank you. And if you're brand new here, make sure you sub up, ring the bell for notifications. Help us hit 65,000. We're on the road.
That said we needed to check out the cheers.
So this year, my plan is to hit 100,000 people. But technically, I'm already there. Okay, because this channel has 64 and some change. My other channel has almost 40. My other channel has almost 10. So really, I'm at like almost 110,000 subscribers. But I want 100,000 on this channel alone. Okay, because this is my main channel. So collectively, I'm already over 100,000 subscribers. But I want it on this channel. Okay, so let's get it going. Sub up, ring the bell, and let's make it happen. We're going to bring you a lot of cool stuff. I will be in Idaho this year for the Idaho 4Ks. I will be in Florida for Stephen Stearns. We're here in Boston now for the Karen Reed stuff. Shaking feathers, razzle dazzle. Okay, we got them razzled. It didn't take much. It didn't take much. They mad today. They mad today. They talking shit, right? They big mad. You guys be good. And remember this, if nobody else does, Dolly loves you. Peace.